Hello, it's been a while again. I'm not doing great on regular updates, but I hope you all are doing better than me as I am currently in the middle of colonoscopy prep. One of the glamorous side effects of having a genetic mutation that makes you predisposed for other cancers is lots of extra screenings just to make sure you're safe. So I'm due for a colonoscopy. It's been about, I think, 4 years since my last one. They recommend them every 3 to 5 years. This time they're going to do an endoscopy as well. So that is later this afternoon. So for anyone who has never been through a colonoscopy, I know everyone jokes about them. They really, the process itself, the actual colonoscopy is not bad. It's the prep. It is horrible. I hate fasting. I'm a big girl. I like to eat. And anytime you tell me I can't eat stuff, I'm just miserable. So my husband had to take my kids out of the house yesterday just to keep me sane because I am just a miserable old hag when I'm sitting here fasting. So my actual procedure is at 3:30 this afternoon. Starting yesterday, I could only have a clear fluid diet. And within that clear fluid diet, you can't have anything red because red dye in your colon looks like blood. So they don't have you do anything with red dye. At least I think that's the reason they don't do it. But you can't have red dye. So no cherry flavored or fruit punch. And essentially what I can have is clear broth. So I do some chicken stock or chicken broth. Sorry. You should be used to these by now. I can do water. I can do electrolyte solutions, so Powerade or Gatorade, just not red. So I did a lot of orange because I really only like orange and red. And then you can do popsicles as long as they're the clear, and not red. I did try to have a popsicle last night, but my daughter stole it, so didn't really do popsicles. And Jello, just not red. So I have a bunch of orange Jello in there. So if you can imagine, I'm kind of over the flavor of orange right now because that's been prevalent in my process. And then at about 5 p.m. last night, I had to do my first prep, which it's this powder that you put into a container and you add preferably cold water to it and shake it up really good. I opted for the more fancy kind that means you drink less solution, but it's more concentrated, I think. I'm not sure if that was a better route to go or not this time. I call it fancier because they said that insurance covers less of that or doesn't cover all of it, so you pay extra for it. And I said I'll do that because you only do 16 ounces at a time, whereas I think the other one you do 32 ounces at a time. And you have two preps. You have the prep the night before, and then you have the prep the next day. So after you have to drink the prep, which is an ultra concentrated Gatorade, if you can imagine. So it's got, you taste salt, you taste sugar. It's like a strong saline solution. And as much as I thought I mixed it up really well yesterday, I got to the bottom and there was a ton of crystals at the bottom. So, you've got to take the whole thing because it's also got medicine in there that's making you go to the bathroom. So I added a little bit of my Gatorade to it and mixed it up again afterwards last night. And oh my goodness, it was like drinking straight ocean water. It was so bad. So that was probably the hardest part. And then you have to drink another 16 ounces of normal fluid right afterwards within 30 minutes. So within an hour, you have to complete this plus this filled with water or Gatorade. And then very quickly afterwards, you'll find yourself in the restroom quite a bit. Yep. Not glamorous. But for me, the hardest part is not eating. Like, I have been wanting food. I have to be careful, like, looking on Facebook because I follow so many foodie groups and I keep seeing pictures of food. Yesterday my husband made sure to keep the kids out of the house for all the meals so that I didn't smell or want any of their food because I just want food. The good thing is you can eat right afterwards, so I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do for my first meal because food. But right now I'm in the middle of my second and last prep. Today I do this one. I have to finish this in the next 18 minutes. I started it about 12 minutes ago. And then I'll have to do my 30 minutes of drink. And then with it, about 2 hours after that, I have to be completely done with everything. I can't have even water. So 4 hours before the prep, nothing by mouth at all. So I'm going to have to make sure that I take my medicine after I do this so that I don't forget. And then I'll probably take a shower, and if I'm feeling good, I might be able to go out because I should only have a little bit of time where it's forcing me urgently in the bathroom because usually by the second day you're flushed out. And so I'm hoping to kind of take advantage of this and to keep my mind off of it versus just instead of just sitting around. I'm hoping to go out. We have a levy vote for our school district, so I'm going to go out and vote, hopefully, but it all depends on how widespread my bathroom breaks are. And then around 2:30, my mother-in-law is going to pick me up because I cannot drive. You can't drive yourself there because you do go under anesthesia. You have to be there an hour early, so I have to be there by 2:30. And it's pretty, like I said, it's pretty downhill after that. It's just getting through this. I mean, this is putrid. But I keep telling myself, just get through this, and it's downhill from here, and the reward is the wonderful meal that I will be having later. And I'll have a squeaky clean colon as a result, in case that matters to anyone. The trick I use to try to suck this stuff down is I try to look at, my fill line is right here, so it wasn't filled to the top. So I'm trying to make sure I get it halfway within 15 minutes. I'm not quite there, and I've got like a minute before 15 minutes, so we'll see. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's so bad. The other trick is don't just sip it. Take swigs because it's touching your tongue once. So I'm going to pause for a couple seconds because now I'm at 15 and I'm halfway. I'm actually a little more than halfway. And then hopefully I could just finish this rust bit in a swig in another 5 minutes or so. It's so bad. It's important though. I mean, colon health is really important. Colon cancer is probably one of the more prevalent risks I have. My last colonoscopy didn't find anything. I don't even think I had polyps. Polyps don't necessarily mean they're cancerous. But that's what commonly is found in colonoscopies. And like I said, it's my first time doing an endoscopy, which means it goes down through your throat. So that'll be interesting. But I'm out for all of it. It's not very long. It's usually like half hour to an hour. And then pretty much, you wake up in recovery and they ship you out pretty quickly. Like I remember not being there very long. So that is what is entailed with a colonoscopy. Like I said, just get through this part and you survive, but it's really important to follow all the prep instructions. But, it's one of the things that I say, they glamorize genetic mutations in the movies because they have superpowers, and the reality of having a genetic mutation is this. Like, this is my reality, and this is going to be the rest of my life. And eventually my children will need to be tested for this genetic mutation, and I pray to God daily that they don't have this, because I don't want them suffering and going through all these tests, and I don't want to have to, it's just, I don't even want to think about it. But that's certainly on my mind, and it's hard for me to not be frustrated. I've never been much of a why me-er with my cancer. For some reason, the genetic mutation frustrated me more, and I think it's because of all these extra screenings I have to do. I'm kind of like, well, what did cause this genetic mutation? Why do I have this? There's a lot of talk going on in my hometown where there were Air Force cleaning chemicals exposed to the area, so it resulted in PFAS exposure in a lot of the groundwater. And my parents lived on that air base briefly before I was born. I've grew up swimming in all the lakes and creeks and waterways around there. So naturally, I can't help but wonder if they're connected. But the problem with things like that is it's really hard to connect all the dots and find answers. And it's not going to help me at all to have that as an answer, except for a little bit of peace of mind. Like, I didn't give myself the mutation. I don't know. But mutant life. Thanks for watching. Bye.